Hello, Cookie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Okay. I'm
Okay,
great.
so
Angel, request for the mic.
um
Okay, so as we are waiting for others to join and the speakers to join, right? So we'll be introducing what True Traders Talk is all about. Like it's a space of female traders, three female traders hosting the space, and it's all about teaching you about the financial markets, trading itself, finance, and everything about trading, right? Both the macroeconomics aspect of it and about how it affects us and how it affects the industry, right? You can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Can
can hear
anyone hear
you.
me?
I can
Okay,
hear you.
so that Okay, so that's it. So today we are going to be talking about psychology of trading, right? So psychology is a very important thing in this industry in forex itself, and without a strong psychology, it's very difficult for tree traders to just. It's very difficult for us to do things right because you can have the best technical analysis and the best strategy ever, right? But when your psychology is not in check, everything goes down the drain, right? Everything typically goes down the drain and it's not good. So this is why we are hosting the space today, and we're having our speakers Tov and Olu of Trade. While Olu is busy actually, then I'll hand over the mic to Cookie for her to explain what this space is all about, so you can hear from her and also understand everything she's going to talk about. So Cookie, you can take the mic.
okay. Thank you so much, boss lady. So about Trader Talk, like she said, we are about to be hosting this. Is our first premiere. So from today, every Monday, 7 p.m. Nigeria time, 6 p.m. Ghana time, we will be hosting this space, this weekly space, every single Monday at 6 p.m. Ghana time and then 7 p.m. Nigeria time. This space is going to be on for 2 hours every Monday. That is from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Whereas we share valuable information about trading and then we learn one or two things from other more experienced traders. So today our first topic is going to be the psychology of trading, whereas our speakers, Olu of Trades and then Toff, will come and speak on the topic psychology of trading and to help build up more healthy psychology for with those who are struggling with psychology in their trading. So Tough and Olu of Trades are come to share more light on the topic for us so that before this space ends, hopefully you get a healthier psychology and then a better understanding on how to go about your trading. So then we are waiting for our speakers. Kindly share this space and then make sure other people get to join. I will hand the mic over to Angel to speak a little bit about tonight's space whilst we wait for Tough and then Olu of Trades.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you guys for coming. Thanks for coming. So, while waiting for our speakers, I'll just say a few things about the trial trader stock and about trading psychology as well. Hope you all can hear me. Hmm? You guys can hear me, right?
Yes, we can
Yeah, we
hear
can
you.
hear
Please
you.
go on.
We can hear you.
All right. So, welcome, guys, to our first stage, this trial trader stock. And I'm hosting this along with my two trading friends, Cookie and Boss Lady. So we founded this space with a shared passion for bringing valuable insights to the trading community. And one of our aim is to create an open platform where top traders can share their expertise on topics like risk management, psychology, a lot of things, topics related to trading. Get so most times we're not going to be like the speakers trying to teach you guys. Instead, we're going to invite traders, experienced traders, to come and talk to us or share what they know with us. In that way, everybody can learn. Okay, so our commitment, like as we embark on this journey, our commitment is to provide a platform that will not only educate but will also inspire everybody. So, and one of our vision is that Trial Traders Talk will be a hub for learning, sharing, and connecting with our fellow traders. So, guys, I'm really happy that you guys came. I'm even surprised that many people came instantly, but I'm also happy and grateful. And I want to welcome and thank you guys once more. So, the topic for today, while waiting for our speakers, I'll just say a few things about trading psychology. So, our topic for today is trading psychology, and trading psychology is more of like talking about your mindset when trading, and it's more of trying to help you guys to cultivate the right mindset for trading. Yeah. So we all know that trading is not about the charts and numbers. It's not only about buying and selling. A lot of things are involved in trading, and you cannot trade without acknowledging the emotional aspect. That is the fear, the greed, and the impatience that affects our trading decisions. So one of the things I think we can do is to embrace the emotional aspects of trading. Because you can do that by recognizing that trading is an emotional something. Let me not say emotional, it's something that has to do with the mindset. And you have to know, accept that it's normal to experience high and low. When you come to this journey, everything cannot just go smoothly. There will be challenges, there will be highs, there will be lows, there will be times that you want to give up, there will be times that you will be making mistakes, and till you correct that mistakes, nothing will go well for you. Do you get? And then we also need to understand the psychological impact of the wins and losses. Wait, Cookie, can you carry on? I'm coming.
Okay, so speaking on the topic a bit on the psychology of trading, we all know that psychology is very important in trading. Hence, we need it to be able to be profitable in this line of business because we are all humans. And then sometimes, if we take too much loss, or even sometimes, even if you take too much wins, it affects your psychology, good and in a good way and in a bad way at the same time. Assuming you get too many loss, it's going to emotionally affect you, and then it's going to make you make rational decisions. At the same time, if you make too many wins at the same time, you feel like you're on top of the world. Nobody can stop you, and then you own the market, and then it will make you rather consume a lot of things you're not supposed to consume, and then you might crash on your way to being more successful. So today, Tough is going to throw light on a lot of psychological issues that traders go through to be able to sustain themselves to stay longer in this industry. Because we all know that the market is moved by a whole lot of human emotions: fear, greed, happiness, sadness. Every type of emotions is occurring in the market. It's up to you to decide which one you think should affect you and which one shouldn't affect you, or how you are able to handle the emotions that comes with trading. Because trading sometimes can be very tough, especially when you're putting in the work and you're not seeing the results. You tend to get tired, you tend to get stressed, you feel like you're not doing enough, you feel like what you are doing is wrong. Sometimes what you are doing is even right, but because you are not seeing any results, it automatically messes up with your brain, and then you tend to do or even go against your trading rules. So today the topic is to make you the topic on the psychology of trading is to set you on the right path on trading, or how to approach trading in case you are facing certain challenges in your trading, like fear, greed, or maybe not being able to wait for your trade to hit take profit, or you cut your wins so short. Everything, all the emotions that comes with trading, today we are going to share light on it, so that before the end of this space you should be able to have a grip of how to handle your emotions and how to handle yourself when you are in a trade. Yeah, yeah, you are in a trading position or about to take a trade, or how to behave when you are in a trade and after the trade as well. So today, Mr. Toff and then Olu of Trade, we currently have Mr. Toff in the house, and I appreciate him so much for coming. And I want to appreciate um, some of our listeners on the space. Chat with Max, thank you so much for being here. Black Wolf, outstanding music producer Abdul, Ken Rose, thank you so much for adhering to this space today. I'm so grateful that you took off your time to join this space and listen to us as we speak on the topic of the psychology of trading. So I will currently hand over the mic to Mr. Toff so that we can start the space as quickly as possible. Before we start, before I hand the mic to Toff, I'm going to say this one more time. This is the premiere of a weekly space that is going to happen every single Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Ghana time, and from 7 p.m. to 9 from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Nigerian time. This space is going to be held every single Monday at for 2 hours at this particular period of times I have mentioned. So please, hopefully you guys will you stay with us throughout this journey that we have started. So this will be our stepping stone of every Monday having to host these spaces with amazing topics to come to help our traders become better traders and then improve in their trading journey. So hence I hand this mic over to Mr. Toff to share a light on the psychology of trading. Hopefully before he finishes, all of us here should be able to learn one or two things to improve in our trading journey to becoming a better trader. Thank you. And then Mr. Toff, please, let's hear you.
Uh, thank you very much, Cookie, for the introduction. Um, Good evening once again. Good evening, boss lady and Angel. I guess this is the first time I'm seeing a space that all the hosts and co-hosts are all females. Was this a plan or something? But anyways, chat to Max.
It's a revolt. It's a revolt.
Revolt, Abby. They want to take over the industry.
They want to do something. I smell something cooking.
No worry, their mind go soon day. Their mind go day now. Their mind go day. Anyways, wonderful listeners. Good evening, guys. Without wasting time, it's an interesting and generic topic, right? When they say psychology of trading, you wonder that can we finish this topic in one day because it's a very very broad thing. It's like a curriculum on its own. It's like when you are in school and they say, for this whole semester, this is what we'll be doing. That's how deep the topic can be and very very wide. But I'll try to be really specific so that we can understand and learn and take a lot of things home from this space. So basically, when we talk about trading psychology, what exactly do we mean about psychology? Now, if you look at popular definitions of psychology, maybe from Harvard, Oxford, and most of these big schools in the world, they will tell you that psychology is the study of the mind and the behaviors that are associated with it. So now there are two key phrases in what I just said. One, your mind. Two, the behaviors that are associated with your mind. So you have a mind, and there are certain things you do by function of your mind. Okay, the only reason why a criminal will carry a gun and go to someone's house to rob them is because he has the mind of a criminal, and that behavior is something that's associated with that mind. Okay, so now, um, when it comes to trading, basically, when it comes to trading, there is a mind that as a trader you are meant to have. See, I think when I dealt with this topic on one space last 2 weeks, I think Investor Joe space, I told them there that every profession has a certain mind. Okay, now if you put 10 doctors in a room, see, I can assure you that 8 of them are thinking the same way. If you put 6 pilots in a room, I can assure you that 5 are thinking the same way. If you put 10 pastors in a room, I can assure you that 8 to 9 are thinking the same way. Now, if you put 10 profitable traders in a room, emphasis on the word profitable, I can assure you that 8 to 9 of them are thinking the same way. So now, what's the commonality amongst all these examples I just gave? There is a mind that you must have to be successful in the trading industry. Now, I would go back to our definition once in a while, so you can write the definition of psychology. It's just basically the study of the mind and behaviors that are associated with it. Compulsorily, that second part of the sentence must be there. So we're not just studying your mind, not just the way you think, not just what's in your, then in school, they ask people, where is your mind? And people start to touch their chest. It was until we started growing up and we realized that, your mind not in your chest. Your mind is in your head. Yeah, because growing up, they say, where's your mind? My heart belongs to, my heart is here. They touch my chest. That's not your mind. Your mind it's in your brain. So psychology is the study of that mind, but not just the mind. What are the behaviors that come with the mind? And I think the reason why they associated with these big schools like Oxford and Harvard had to put behaviors with it, because you'll be wondering now, why not just stop at the mind? Why are you bringing behaviors into this? What does behavior have to do with the mind? See, it's because of the fact that it is very possible to think something and not to do it. See, there is a bridge, there is a barrier between thinking and doing. In mental gaming trading, they made us understand that thoughts lead to emotions, emotions lead to actions. So there is a bridge, like a third million bridge, between thoughts and actions. So go back to the definition from Harvard. You see that it's mind and what? Behavior. So when they tell you that, oh, my psychology is bad, you see traders, they'll tell them what's their issue. Or you say, you message your mentor and say, I have an issue with trading. Sir, my psychology is bad. What exactly is the psychology we're talking about? I mean, what is psychology? Because when you tell someone your psychology is bad, most likely they start to assume that you are doing stupid things on the chart. For example, you are shifting your stop loss while you're in drawdown. Now, what you are doing is an action word. They say a verb is an action or doing word. You are doing something. You are in the process of shifting your stop loss. But before you shifted that stop loss, there was a thought. It started in your head. See, people don't just do things for doing sake. So I respect these big global institutional schools for making us understand that psychology is not just the behavior, not just the mind, but mind plus behavior equals to psychology. It's like an equation. Mind plus behavior equals to psychology. So you must think it first before you do it. The purpose of this space is to ensure that either we tackle the mind or the behavior, because these are two different things entirely. See, I can think about increasing my TP that I've set to be, predetermined 1 to 3. I can think it, but I might not do it. That's a tricky thing with psychology. You can think something. McDonald's told some people in a lecture room in California when he was teaching before he died. He said that as a professional, you are allowed to think some dirty thoughts. Some stupid thoughts might come to your mind as regards this trading of a thing. I mean, you'll be wondering that, am I not bigger than this? I've been trading for 4 years and I'm still thinking of breaking my plan. I mean, why am I doing like this? And like you start to, abuse yourself, talk down on yourself, thinking that it was like it is allowed. You are a human being. You're allowed to think those kind of thoughts. But what you are not allowed to do is what? Act on it. You are now allowed to behave. See, a behavior is an action. When you say, I don't like the way this my guy is behaving, I don't like the way the guy they do. It means say the guy don't they think am, him can't they do am. You rather he just keeps his thoughts in his head than doing that thing he's always doing to frustrate you. So back to the definition, psychology is the study of the mind and the behaviors that are associated with it. Now, to be very, very direct to us over here, everybody listening to me right now. See, there are two things that would happen in your trading career. One, it's either you ensure that you regenerate your mind, you build a new mind that is modified and fortified for the trading industry. See, there is a mind that traders need to have. And one more thing, guys, have you noticed that it is only in trading, or it is majorly in trading, that they discuss psychology? Because if you observe very closely, you will not see doctors sit down in one place and an open space and say we're discussing medicine psychology, or you will not see the tech guys on Twitter just open space and say we are discussing tech psychology, or even the crypto guys don't really do are discussing crypto psychology. All that guys are on Twitter. Engineering guys, you won't see them open a space we're discussing engineering psychology. But you see traders often than not, we always involve topics like psycho. In fact, in baby peeps, one of the curricula that you are going to go through before you finish your lectures in baby peeps, if you start from baby peeps, is psychology of trading. They will teach you as if it's a big part of trading. Why is it in trading that we are concerned? Try a little experiment, maybe tonight or tomorrow. Tell your friends that I attended the psychology lecture on Twitter. They will ask you that, hope you are fine. Hope there is nothing wrong with you. Just tell them that, oh my pick on now, guy. Maybe they were calling you on WhatsApp. You say, I did one psychology class like that, Jerry, for Twitter, one psychology space. They will start to ask you questions that, psychology. Say you don't you don't the colonial. Because they cannot relate to why you are doing what you're doing. Now, the point is that psychology is very important to traders. Now, please, guys, don't forget my definition. Mind plus behavior. Simple. It's as simple as that. No big grammar, no big words. Mind plus behavior. So don't forget that definition. Now, you tell your guy that you're coming from a space where you learn psychology, and he's wondering that what the hell are you saying? Why are you going to psychology classes? What exactly is that? Okay, why do you need it? Why do you need this in your industry? Is it not weird? Now, this is the point. I said psychology is mind plus behavior. Now, the strange thing about trading and traders is that the mind that we come into this world with, or the mind that we are born with, is not the mind that we need to be successful as traders. Emphasis on the word successful. See, there is a general mind that when you develop in most professions, you will succeed. All you just need to do is understand educate yourself, like get information. If I want to be a doctor, all I need to do is educate myself how to administer drugs, injections, diagnosis. If I want to be an engineer, I learn how to build a car, build a this. But in trading, you can get all the education you need, all the information, but if you don't have the mind of a trader, you will not succeed. So there is a mind you need to have as a trader. So you have your edge first, you have your model, you have your strategy. You've gotten your strategy on ground. Okay, you want to trade, ICT, SMC, MBM, moving averages, whatever strategy you want to trade. If you like, name it an anaconda strategy or Python strategy, no one cares. You have your strategy, and it's proven to produce results, right? Is that proven by you or your mentor or whoever pioneered the strategy? Now, the next thing you have to do is that you need to now develop a mind of a trader, because I said psychology is mind plus behavior. So you develop a mind, and now this mind is something that it gets developed with time and experience. Time and experience. I'm going to behavior very soon. I'm going to behavior. We are still with the mind. We are tackling the mind. What are you thinking now as I'm speaking to you? What were you thinking? I think today is Monday now. We all traded today. What exactly were you thinking that made you increase that stop loss? What were you thinking that made you break your plan? What were you thinking that made you over leverage? That's where we are currently. That's where I'm tackling now. Mind plus behavior, popular definition by big schools globally. Now we are saying that what are you thinking? What exactly is your mind? How do we restructure your thoughts? How do we restructure your thoughts so that you have the mind of a trader? Now, a mind is like a bucket. It's like would I say, when you have a basket that has many fruits, or you see this pack that has many contents inside. Now, in a mind, let's see the mind as a cup or a bucket. There are lots of things that are in the mind. Now, these things are your thoughts. All of the things you always think in during your trading session, they are in your mind. Now, there is a popular quote by most psychotherapists. They say that human beings recycle their thoughts, meaning that 90% of the things that Cookie is thinking today, she will think them tomorrow. 85% of the things that Angel thought about today, she will think about them tomorrow. Human beings naturally recycle their thoughts. Almost all the thoughts you thought today, the way you thought about, gallivanting on what food to eat, the way you thought about, knowing whether I should stand up from your desk to take water or not, or you thought about waking up whether I should brush 2 minutes or 3 minutes or not, all those funny thoughts you thought all through the day today, they are saying that you are going to think them tomorrow too. So human beings, they just sent me a message that the host is having a connection issue. Cookie, can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear
yes, please,
you.
I
I can
can
hear
hear you.
you.
Continue.
Talk.
I hope the space does not rock because they sent a message that the host is having connection issues. And
No,
anytime that
it
happens,
no, it's not
okay.
wrong. Please, I'm here.
All right, don't worry. So now, these psychologists are telling us that the things that you are thinking today, now what you will think tomorrow. So if you are recycling your thoughts every day, it means that your trading thoughts too are recycled. See, guys, if you are trading for 4 hours per day, they are telling you that most of the things you are thinking today, during that 4 hour period, you will think it tomorrow. Like all those things that were in your mind, you will still do it tomorrow. So that's why developing the mind of a trader is something that takes a lot of work. Because you need to fight that natural barrier that replicates things. See, there is a replication mechanism in everybody. There is something that makes you repeat the things you do. Now, is this thing bad? No. Let me tell you why it's not bad. Have you noticed that you've gone to a stage for the guys here that have shoes with laces, maybe Nike, Air Force, all of that? You can tie your laces without thinking about it. I mean, let's think about that for a second. You can wear your shoes, tie your laces, and you're not actively thinking about how you pull the first rope from the right to the left, then you knotted it, then you fix that one inside. It just happens automatically. Or you've gotten to the state whereby you're brushing your teeth or you're having your bath, and you're not actively thinking of each of the parts of your body you're scrubbing. It's because the body has automaticized, or let me call it, it has made that activity automatic, that you don't need to stress yourself. See, we are gifted as human beings. You know why we're gifted? There is a blessing in repetition. And to build the mind of a trader, the topic is trading psychology, and we've established the fact that psychology is simple. It's just mind plus behavior. Full stop. To build the mind of a trader, you need to use and take advantage of repetition. That's the first point. You need to take advantage of repetition. See, you see traders say, "Oh, I've been trading for 11 years. I don't journal again. I've been trading for 20 years. I don't meditate again." Now, you would not blame them. You know why? They've gotten to a point that that gift of replication, that system that makes things automatic, it has happened several times, 100 times, to the point that they've developed a very, very strong mind of a trader. Like, their mind is now like sealed. It's so sealed that nothing can take that mind from them. So they might not be doing all of these things you do when you're a newbie or when you're starting. All right. So it comes from repetition. But now let's get something right. What exactly is the mind you bring into trading? I will try to ensure that I am very fast. The number one mind you're going to bring into trading is a mind of fear. A mind of fear. Now, the thing is that naturally human beings are fearful when they are being threatened. When you are being threatened, you do two things. You either run or fight. I repeat, when you are being threatened as a human, you do two things. You either run or fight. In biology, it's called fight or flight. So if they are attacking your area now, and armed robbers are in the streets, God forbid, and you are the only one at home, or you are a father, you have a wife and children, there are two things you are going to do. Two things. You either take a cutlass and stay by the door. So anybody that comes, you attack the person, or you tell your wife and children and everybody to go and hide under the bed, including yourself. Now, the first thing you did, or the first would have that you did, was that you are prepared to fight whoever is at the door. The second one is you are flighting. So in biology, it's called fight or flight, and there are hormones that control this thing. So if you tell everybody in the house, guys, we think that we can hear noises at the gate, I want you guys to hide under the bed, and you yourself, you find a place to hide also, maybe the wardrobe or something. That's flight. Now, you did that because you are threatened. It's a threat. So that is the same thing the markets do to people. The markets threaten people on a day-to-day basis. Now, we see, money is something that's very important to us. I mean, we cannot deny the fact. Money is the only thing that gives you food, clothing, and shelter, right? No one here can tell me that he goes to the farm to, if you want to eat rice now, you go to the farm to go and, harvest rice or something. You buy it now. Money is so important to all of us. And the markets are, it's not news now that the market is a very uncertain place. So it means that you'll be taking losses, once in a while. It's something that is, the topic for this space is not probability, so I won't go into probabilities. Now, the point now is that when the market threatens you, let's see a threat as a stimuli. Now, a stimuli is being responded to in biology. When you see a stimuli, you respond. For example, if I see, if someone points his hand at my face, I'm going to blink. That's a response to the attack on my face. If they just bring the light in your eyes, in your house rather, your eyes are going to dilate, or they'll constrict rather. If they take the light, your eyes are going to dilate. That's response. Now, there is a way human beings respond to every stimuli. Okay, and one of the stimuli we get as traders is that when the market is threatening you with your money, you deposited your money in the broker or via a prop firm, and right in your face, the market is taking 1%. You've agreed that you want to risk 1%. Fine. They told you risk what you can afford to lose. Okay, 1% of the account. Interesting. But now the trade is going against you. You just told yourself you're risking 1%. Brother, why you shake? At least you told yourself that, okay, I have a 10,000 prop account. 1% is $100. Now this trade is in 67. You never even knock $100 with stop loss. You see the 67.5. It dance. You know the way that thing dances on your MT5. 67.5, 62, 70, 73. And you are shaking. It has not hit stop loss, but you just told us that you accepted the risk. Why are you shaking? See, the reason you are shaking is because you are not the one shaking. This might sound very, very, very deep, but it's the truth. You are actually not the one shaking. There is something else inside of you that's actually shaking. There's something else that's reacting. And now, where am I going to? I'm going to link this to the mind quickly. Now, once you're threatened by that red you see, I called it a stimuli 2 minutes ago. There is a response that automatically would happen. And now, this is it. I said psychology is mind plus behavior, so we're getting there. So it can be very interesting and understandable. At that point, your mind is activated. Now, remember I told you guys at the start of my speech, I said a trader needs to have a certain kind of mind that is different from the mind every other industry has. And I mentioned that you see other industries, they don't prioritize psychology like that. They don't see, okay, someone's mic is muted or muted. Chat to Max. So you see other industries, okay, I can cite a lot of trade in the house. Welcome, boss. So you see other industries, they don't prioritize psychology as much as we do as traders. Traders here, we prioritize the law because we don't have the mind by nature and by birth. We don't have that mind. It's not there. It's not there. So we need to groom and develop the mind of a trader. Okay. So now when you are being threatened by this trade going in drawdown, okay, going in drawdown, there is a mindset that is it's the default, like a default app that comes with your phone, and that thing is thinking of, bro, they're about to take your money. Yes, it's 1%, fine, 1% risk, fine, but it tells you that you are being threatened. Okay, the loss seems like your source of income, your goals to smash $1 million in funding this year, your goals to be 500K in funding, your goal to buy a GLE 450, your goal to build a house for your, it's as if everything is threatened by just one stop loss, by just one trade that is going negative. Just one trade going negative has threatened you and stabilized you. Now, the next thing that's going to happen is that your mind gets activated. You start to think. Thinking starts to come in. So different thoughts start to come in. Thoughts of, would it be better if I increase my stop loss? Thoughts of, should I re-enter in drawdown? Tom Mugat called it the buyer's remorse. You know that thing you want to do now, whereby trade is in drawdown. You believe that if you re-enter, you are re-entering at a better price. So let's say you are in drawdown of $67. Like, I mean, your surplus is $100. You are in 67. You believe that if you enter at that lower price, if price goes up, your TP is going to be higher. So instead of 1 to 3, right? If you enter in drawdown, you'll be doing 1 to 4 or 1 to 4.5. That mentality, it's called the supermarket mentality. You want to buy cheap, okay? That one too comes. You believe that, should I re-enter in, should I add one more position in drawdown? Should I increase my stop loss? Should I break my exit plan? Maybe your exit has said, okay, you must exit at this particular time. Maybe after 1 hour in drawdown. All of these thoughts start to come. Now, what's happening now is that your mind is already clouded. So your mind has been hijacked. So once your mind is hijacked, the next thing that happens, which is the final context I'll go into before I end my speech, is behavior. So we're about to wrap this all up. I said that the psychology is defined as the study of the mind and behavior globally. And with these little examples I gave you guys, you saw that there was a stimuli and Mr. A responded to that. Now his mind was hijacked. He started to think of a lot of things, from increasing his stop loss to adding one more trade in drawdown to breaking his exit plan, right? Next thing is that there is a behavior that comes with that. So the final piece of the flow chart is that after you think, you do. You first think before you do. So once you've thought about it, the next thing you're going to do is that it's either you act on what you've thought or you don't. And usually, guess what, guys? If you do not have the mind of a trader, okay, if you do not have the mind of a trader, or if you've not caught the link, see, this is where I'm going to make it more understandable. There is actually a link between mind and behavior. See, there is a way you can think of something and not do it. Okay, there is a way you can think of something and still not do it. All right, okay, I'm getting some text now. The goal of the trader is that you've thought about it, fine, all those thoughts have come, enter the trading drawdown, add one more position, but there is a possibility that you can choose to not act on that. So when these big schools are defining psychology as mind plus behavior, they are saying that most of the times human beings generally, they always act on what they think. So if you have a mind, most likely they are saying that you will behave that way too. So that's why they just lumped the definition together. They just made it together. Okay, mind plus behavior. So most likely if you are thinking of something, you will do it. But as a trader, your goal in trading psychology, the topic of this space, is that I want to block that bridge. I want to burn the bridge. I want to break the bridge between the mind and behavior. I can be thinking of something and not do it. So if I'm thinking of increasing my stop loss, if I'm thinking of adding one more position, if I'm thinking of breaking my plan, I can choose to break the barrier and not behave that way. So the moment you start, so you thought about it, the moment you actually increase that stop loss, the moment you add one more trade in drawdown, the moment you break your plan, now, congratulations, you've actually had a very bad psychology. Congratulations, you've just acted on your mind. So now you've behaved that way. So mind plus behavior. Okay, so to end this, I would say this. There are two approaches. One, it's either you don't think it at all, or two, it's either you think it or you don't do it. See, I would not say that there are no professional traders that do not think in bad ways. As a professional trader, there is a big possibility you are thinking stupid thoughts on the chart. You know why? It's like a cloth that is being placed on a bucket of water. Once in a while, the water is going to seep through the clothes. When a flood is overflowing, at a point, it's going to get to the lagoon and stream over it. See, as a professional, no matter how much experience, exposure that you've had in the market over time, once in a while, you have stupid thoughts. You would have thought that you'll be disappointed in yourself and be telling yourself, why am I thinking this way? They are going to come. But what we're saying is that the thoughts from the mind, I analogized the mind earlier on to be like a bucket that has a lot of things inside. The thoughts from the mind are not infiltrating your behavior. So you can think it, but you don't behave that way. All right. So back to the two approaches. Number one, it's either you don't think it at all. And how do you develop, the ability to not think, in certain ways. As I said, it's repetition. Repetition helps a lot. Awareness of the things you think. So that's why they tell people journal. I mean, this topic is very, very broad. If we start treating journaling and all those things, I mean, we go just sleep here. They tell you journal your thoughts, journal your emotions. You know why they're telling you to do that? They want you to know the thoughts, the component of your bucket. Let me remind you guys again. I said the mind is like a bucket, and all of the thoughts you have, they are the contents of the bucket. So they are telling you to journal so that you can, there are some buckets that if you don't look from the top, you cannot know what's inside. It's not a transparent bucket. So you need to actually look from the top, open the bucket, open the cover, then check what's inside. So the same thing with journaling. Journaling is like you are writing down the things, the content of the bucket, and when you are reviewing it, you are opening the bucket, opening the cover, and say that, okay, I want to see the content. What are the things that have been in my mind for the past 7 days? What are all these stupid
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please, Mr. Toff, you can continue. Hello, please, can you guys hear me? Angel, boss lady.
Can you hear me? Sorry, I think you muted me, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
I'm
muted
sorry. Please
everyone.
continue.
All right, no wala, no wala. Thank you. I'm about to round up though. So now, yeah, as I was saying, the mind is like a bucket. All of your thoughts are the contents of the bucket. Now, the goal of journaling is that you are writing down the contents of that bucket, such that at the time you are reviewing your journal, you can see all the contents and prepare beforehand. Because the idea is that you don't want you don't want the things in the bucket to spill over. So you're allowed to think in stupid ways as a trader. It's going to happen once in a while, but you're not allowed to behave in stupid ways. I repeat, you're allowed to think in stupid ways, but you're not allowed to behave. No one really knows your thoughts. I think I was calling, I was speaking with Pesola today, and I was like, he saw my journal, like my journal, there's a column of your journal, you see emotional before a trade, thoughts before a trade. And it was like, we was surprised. I was like, I think my own even better. It was like, if I see his own, I could just laugh. Most of the traders you see, professional traders, if you see their journal, trust me, you will laugh. Unless they are not being transparent about themselves. But the ones that are transparent, if you read their journal, you will just laugh because it's like a comedy. Or you tell yourself in your journal, okay, I actually broke my plan because I felt like I wanted to do this. And you ask yourself, how now? How now? Like, it's just a comedy show if you read the journals of most traders. All right. So the point now is that you're allowed to think in stupid ways. You're allowed to, that bucket of, the bucket of your mind is allowed to have so many bad contents. But the point now is that we don't want those contents to spill over. All right. The goal of a trader is that we want to reduce the bad thoughts with time. Want to reinforce the good thoughts, positive thoughts, and remove the negative thoughts with time. Okay. But before that's going to happen, there is something that's very important, and it's the fact that all of those negative thoughts you've had or you have in trading, you don't want to ensure that they cross over to the behavioral part. So you want to break the bridge, burn down that bridge. And how do you burn down that bridge? One of the ways you do it is meditation. One of the ways you do it is visualization and backtesting. So you are burning the bridge between this location and this location. It's like from the mainland to the island. You are breaking that bridge. So you don't want those thoughts to cross over to your behavior. So you might think of increasing your stop loss. You might think of breaking your plan, but you don't want to do it. Thinking is different from doing. So the idea is to break that plan. It's to break the bridge. That's the idea. That's the goal of trading psychology. In fact, that's the major essence of trading psychology. Just two things: breaking the barrier between thinking and doing, number one, and two, reducing the number of negative thoughts you have. Because guess what, guys? Don't you think it's going to be easier if you're not thinking negatively again? I mean, imagine that God gave you that gift, that all the thoughts you have in your trading are just good thoughts. You don't think bad. I mean, you're a special guy, you're a special breed. All your thoughts in this trading thing is sweet, fantastic thoughts. I mean, you had this mind of a trader whereby you don't even think about, you've never thought of increasing your stop loss, you've never thought of increasing your TP, you've never thought of removing the spread addition, you never thought of breaking your plan. All your thoughts have been wonderful thoughts. I mean, are there people like that that are born into trading? Okay, it's rare, but that's the goal of a trader, to have lesser and lesser negative thoughts and more positive thoughts. Sort of, holding your trade to TP, sort of sticking to your plan. These are positive thoughts. So the idea is to reinforce the thoughts. The thoughts are the content of your mind, the bucket I spoke about, the container. So the idea of a trader is to reinforce positive thoughts so that they occupy the system. See, the more positive thoughts you have, the less negative thoughts you have. I read that in Trading Coach last week. If you see, it gets to a point as a trader that actually you stop thinking of bad things. It reduces all these thoughts of should I increase my stock. They reduce. They don't come maybe once in 4 months. They don't really come like that. And the reason why they don't come, according to the doctor that wrote that book, he said it's because your mind has been occupied with positive thoughts, that there is no more space for negative thoughts. As I said, analogize this to a container. Once the container is full, there is no filling up again now, guys. Once the bucket is filled up and it's sealed, there is nothing again. I mean, there is no space. So if you can fill your mind with so much positive thought, and how do you do that? Back testing is one way, a very, very fantastic way for testing. Joining spaces like this, being in a community of traders, listening to like minds, speaking. If you are doing all of these things consistently, you are filling your mind with positive thoughts to the point that that container of your mind has no space for negative thoughts. And guess what, guys? The moment, the more the positive thoughts that occupy your mind, the more the positive, thinking modes that occupy your mind, the lesser the negative thoughts, and the easier it is to not behave in stupid ways. Remember what I said earlier on, don't forget the train of thought. I said that if that container still have a lot of negative thoughts, it means your job is to break the bridge. So I'm going to end here, but I want us to get the analogy very well. It's very, very simple. It's not hard. If there are still many negative thoughts that are recycling your trading career currently as you listen to me, or all through today, you had thoughts that made you break your plan, that made you increase your stop loss, over risk, over leverage, it means that you have a lot of work to do in breaking the bridge. Your job now is that you want to break the bridge from thinking to doing. You can be thinking stupid things, but you must not do stupid things. But I'm saying that with time as a trader, the luck and gift we have and blessing we have is that with time, you start to have less negative thoughts. So it means that that bridge, you don't need a lot of work to break the bridge. In fact, at that point, you have a safe route from thinking to behaviors. So you don't have so much of negative thoughts. So you don't need to put a lot of work in always having to journal and meditate every time. That's why you hear some professional traders tell you they don't meditate again. I think I was listening to Jade Cap and Raja Banks. They had a podcast last 3 weeks, and Jade Cap was like he's trading for 11 years. Raja Banks said 9 years, and they both said they don't journal again. And my mother was like, and they told immediately they said something. They were like, if you are a newbie listening to this YouTube, don't think that they said we did all of these things for the first 5 years. So they did it to the point that they've that bucket of thoughts, that negative thoughts, they've exchanged all the contents with positive thoughts. And now they don't need to break any bridge that links the container to the behaviors. So now they behave in the proper way. That's all psychology is all about. That's the background. So maybe I'll allow the other speakers to, take it from there, and you can handle these things one by one. There are systems and approaches and all of that, but I've just given an overview of how it is. It is not harder. All we just need to do as traders all our lives, all our careers, is that we are going to break the bridge, burn down the bridge from thinking to doing. Simple. You can think it, but you must not do it. That's all. Thank you very much, Cookie.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toff, for this wonderful speech you gave us on the topic. We are so grateful, and then hopefully one or two people should be able to pick some valuable lessons from what you just told us. We are so grateful for you being on this space and then for honoring our invitation as well. Anyways, I want to acknowledge some of these great people here that are able to make it to my space. Uncommon, Pensula, FX, Buffa, Ishika, Lord Smith. Thank you so much for you guys for making it to this space. Mr. Olu of Trades, please, I'm trying to send you the mic. Kindly accept the mic for me. Thank you so much for being here, Pensula, Trader Benny, Uncommon. We are so grateful to have all these great people on this space. So, whilst waiting for Mr. Olu of Trades, I'll give the mic to Chat with Max to give us some. Okay, I think his network is messing up, so he just left the speaker section. So, whilst waiting for him to come back on the speaker section, I would like to give the mic to Brian OJ from the Ojimania community to give us at least 15 minutes of his time to share some valuable lessons with us. Brian, please, we can hear you. Can we hear you speak, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. First of all, congratulations on your first space. Three of you. you know, it's I think okay, no, it's not the first, but to me, it's the first. Of this kind of space where you see three ladies, host going to be hosting spaces like this. Is this going to be is this going to be regular?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. All right.
This
We
space is going
will.
to be held every Monday at this time, every 2 hours on every single Monday. So it's a weekly space, actually.
All right. Weekly, every 7 p.m.
Exactly. Every 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Nigeria time.
All
Yes.
right. No problem. No problem. All right. You good evening and good day, everybody. Depends on wherever, which country or continent you're from. But I believe most of us are from Nigeria and basically Africa. So our time zones are usually 1 hour difference. So good day, everyone, and I welcome you all, and I thank you, the host and co-host, or hosts in general, for the opportunity. All right. So first things first. Recently, or in recent times on the timeline, psychology has been, how will I put it, over emphasized, and now they are now like downplaying it a whole lot, and it's now seen like as if anyone talking about psychology is just overrating it, and thereby making psychology sound and look so overrated, which we all know is not true. Yes, there are emotions involved, and if we all can be honest with ourselves, beginner, pro, whatever level you are, at some point you can agree with me that your emotions tends to get the better part of you, and that in turn or in return affects your psychology, thereby making you take some drastic and irrational decisions on the market or on the chart or while you're trading. Now, I've always said it that if you want to know the psychology of someone that trade, or a trader per se, just tell them to show you their trade history, and you can see and you can tell by their trading history, the type of psychology they have and the level of maturity they have on the charts, not really, but on the charts. But in a way, our personal, like our how would I put it? Our inner self also reflects on that trade history. I believe you can easily deduce someone's personality through their trade history. It shows, and I wish the person was on the space last year, that's 2023. It was a lady, actually. She came to my WhatsApp and was talking about her trading. She won an account from Uncommon, has one with Funded Next, has one with Uncommon, and they had one that she won from my hand last year, and some others. And she was saying she's really struggling to trade, and she doesn't know how she's going to go about it, blah blah blah. That she just feels she needs some guidance. I'm like, okay, before you can even say you need some guidance, you need to identify the problem you have so that you can start tackling it, because there's no way you can just come and say you need guidance and you don't even know what the problem is. You cannot take your car to the mechanic and tell them to fix the tire when meanwhile the problem is in the engine. But how could they figure out the issue is when they run proper diagnostics on the car? I think Chidabenu should be in a better position to tell us how car diagnostics are being run to figure out what is wrong with the car, especially electric cars. All right. So I now told her, okay, fine, just send me a screenshot of your trading history, and she did. And I now asked her, as I glanced through it, I now asked her, you have anger issues, right? Like you easily get pissed off. She said yes. You are impatient. She said yes. And you don't like being bothered on something. She said, how do you know this? I said, because I'm seeing it on your trades. The first trade you took, you were consistent with your lot sizes, and then when you took some losses, you increased it. And when you saw the increase in the lot size affected you, you reduced lower than your initial lot size. And then when you've made little profits, now you feel yes, you can now increase. Like it was all a roller coaster self in to just cut the long story short. So I now told her all this. Then I now told her the first thing you need to do is to first have been accept the fact that yes, you are you are in control, and accept the fact that yes, you are a human being. Because everybody, I think early part of last year, I was coming across tweets where people were saying you have to detach yourself from your emotions. I mean, detach, remove your emotions when you're trading. I was battling with that. How will I put it? With that, do I say mentality? Because at the end of the day, this is what makes us humans. If you don't have emotions, you are a machine. If you are a machine, you don't have emotions. So how can you tell someone to detach themselves, their self from their emotion, like say they be robots? I believe instead you need to first accept the fact that you were first human before you discovered forex. You were first human before you even know what forex is all about, and you had a life before that. So now that you've now come into a world whereby you can easily make money and lose money by the click of a button, buy or sell, take profit or stop loss, you need to know that it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions. Because by the time you press that buy and sell, once the MT4 or MT5 it starts showing blue, you'll be happy, you'll be smiling, you just relax, cross your leg. Na me now, na me now. Odogu, isn't that me again? You weigh yourself, but by the time they show red, all those healing will change. You will become so restless. You start sweating profusely like someone that their wife is in the labor room or something. All that is all part of the psychology of training, and it's the truth. Everybody can bear me witness. I think Tov can also unmute his mic and tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong per se. You understand? So you need to first accept that fact that you are a human being and your emotions will surely come in play, profit or loss. Now, the first thing any mentor should tell you, or anybody you are learning from should make you understand, is that losses are part of the game. A few weeks back, somebody sent me a DM on WhatsApp and was telling me she wants to learn how to trade. I said, okay, say, but she heard that people used to lose very, but can't you teach me that I won't lose? I just laugh. I say, how? She said, I can't. I said, first of all, you need to understand that it's your skill level, your experiences, your profitability is built on the losses you have encountered, because you learn from each of them. She now said, and I want to learn those losses. I want to learn, but I don't want to experience. Can I just skip that part? I just did laugh. I didn't even know how else to explain it again for her. I just told her, see, when you're ready, you will know you're ready. But obviously, you are not ready, because I don't want the one whereby if you start learning now, then you take losses now, you will come and start blaming me that. But you said this and the market did this, you know. Just like what a great man was saying this morning on my space, when he was saying that the market is random. You just have to just figure out what to do. That sometimes you press buy, the bastard will be selling. If you press a bastard will be buying, and you'll be confused. But along the line, you get used to it, you master it, and you now know how to be in control. Because someone that is in control, the most dangerous person that you can ever come across in this earth or in this life, is someone that has maximum control of their emotions. Like you can't predict if they are angry or happy or sad or whatever. You just can't predict, but you will know that they are human beings, but you just can't tell what their emotions are saying. You understand? And once you can master that part, at the end of the day, you can't master it, sha, because sometimes life happens to you, and you may just be able to fall down from your high horse once in a while. That's still just life has a way of reminding you that you are a human being, though. Last, you understand? Like last year. Last year when my mom had the health issues that I didn't really tell anybody. I know how I felt, but if I think about it now, I tend to ask myself how I was able to still hold spaces without talking about it, without showing it. And it made me make a lot of mistakes back then. So I now sit down and be like, okay, Actually, that's because I've actually known that when I'm in this mood, I know what to do. When I'm in this mood, I know what to do. When I want to trade, I now know what to do. When I'm hosting spaces, I know what to do. When I'm not hosting space, when I'm hanging out with friends or just in the house with the guys, fine, I know what to do. You understand? So the same way you still need to figure, everybody needs to know that the psychology of trading in a way is built around emotions. And if your emotions can be in check, I believe your psychology will be able to be in check. Because if you lose a loved one, for example, and you want to go and trade, there's no way you will trade properly if you if that trauma is still in you. Because what you are trying to do, you are trying to use you're trying to force profits on the market that will give you something to smile about. That's why you always be advised not to trade when you are going through stuff. You should just learn to give the market a break and go through your personal issues before you go into the market. But people people tend to use trading to feel good about themselves. You go through a hard breakup, you want to go and trade. You lose your loved one, you want to go and trade. You have issues with anybody, you want to go and trade because you feel that money you make in the market to make the person feel like they lost something or someone very meaningful or something. And that's wrong. That's just one part of the psychology, though, in terms of the emotions. And then another part of the psychology also is also the part whereby people whereby people tend to how do I put it? Try I think Top said it on my speech this morning. People tend to force or should I been any of them do. People tend to force themselves to see what is not there in the charts per se. Okay, you didn't trade throughout December, and you went on December break, and then January, maybe this is the week you decided to resume. So now you are now calculating, okay, I spent 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 million naira or 6,000 or six whatever amount you spent during the holidays. You now say, okay, I'm going to make it back this week. Then you open the charts, you do your analysis, then you say, okay, due to impatience, now you will now say, okay, this I think this is my setup. You are not sure, but you just say you think, and then you will now press buy, press the sell. And by the time it starts giving you losses, you start running helter skelter, looking for what is not there, trying to adjust your lines, trying to say, okay, that means it's doing this, okay, that means it's doing it, that means it's doing it. You shifting your stop loss, like so many things going on at the same time, just because you've thought your mind told you that this is what you are supposed to see, or this is what you are seeing. Meanwhile, it is not, because you are trying to make back the money you lost per se. You understand? So one way per se, I feel this psychology of trading can be easily handled. During the weekend, I always follow Andrew Tate. So there was one of his videos that he released. He said, as a millionaire, you can comfortably make, if he makes a $100 million investment, he's comfortable making 2%, and he's okay. If he makes 1 to 2% on $1 million investment, he's okay. But a poor broke man, or a poor man per se, will want to turn his $500 to $2,000 before he's okay. That's just the difference. Because you want to now use that, you want to stress that $500 that you have to give you that money that you use to settle your house rent or school fees or whatever. You understand? That's where you will now be advised on the timeline, obviously, that when you start seeing profit, when you start being profitable, start investing in something more stable, like an offline business that is more stable, that you are seeing your investment, you can run it personal perfectly and all that, but not relying only on trading. Yeah, there's people that actually rely on trading for life, but on the long run, I don't know though. I don't know. There could be another school of thought around it, but on the long run, I feel it's not sustainable relying solely only on trading to make a living or to pay your bills or whatever. That's just what I feel though. So I believe other speakers still have other inputs on this psychology of trading, but this topic in particular is quite broad. I think we've handled it several on my spaces, but it's quite broad, and I don't think just one space will be able to handle it. But yeah, that's my input on this. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Um, Brian, thank you so much for your speech about the psychology of trading. I think it will help a lot in so many ways. Hopefully, one or two people will pick valuable lessons from some of the examples you made in relation to the psychology of trading. Anyways, before we proceed, let me acknowledge Nasquin. Thank you for being here, and I'm so glad you are here. Thank you. And then we have the Kokumba girl also on here, Fiona. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate you. Fortune God, I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I didn't mention you earlier. I thought I did. I'm so glad you are here. Thank you for being on this space. And then Locomotive, thank you also for being on this space. I really do appreciate you. Abdul, Chineme, thank you so much, you guys, for being here. And I'll appreciate it whilst you are here. Follow all the speakers on the space as well, and the co-host and the host, and the co-host and the host. Fortune, I'm so happy you are here. Please, I'm really grateful you are here. Anyways, before we proceed, I would like Chat with Max to give us 15 minutes of his time to speak. Thank you. Hello, Chat with Max. Please, are you around?
Yeah, okay, good evening.
Okay, so please give us 15 minutes of your time on the topic, the psychology of trading.
50 or 15, 5 and 0 or 1 and 5.
1 and 5, please.
Because if you say 50, you want give me be that. If you say 15, you don't want make I talk be that. So, but anyway, it's okay. Good evening. Hope you are doing good. Uh, good evening, Cookie, Angel. Boss lady is not here again. Uh, good evening. Uh, Uncommon, senior man. Agree to aside you. Trina Benny, agree to. Let me tap that guy wey dey your side, wey him name start with T, wey dey wear glass. Senior man, I plaster here.
Pablo.
Agree. Pablo Tov, agree to. Tell me, big tell me, abeg. I don't know. We need to open all of una. I don't know who used to motivate you guys to change PFP, and your choice would be worse than it would be bad than the previous one you are using. And na tough start this trend. Na tough. No be tough. Na Pensola start this trend. That guy, if any trend start wey be bad trend, na Pensola dey start am. Now tell me. Well, anyway, Sha. Good evening. Senior man, Olu of Trade. Agree to good evening. And I'm seeing that blessed girl. Happy birthday in Arias. And every other wonderful person on board. Thank you guys. I see Brian, senior man. A plaster for you. I greet you. So I don't use like that 15 minutes to greet everybody now. So as you give me 15 minutes, I
Na still
don't
psychology of
know.
trading. Na still psychology.
You give me 15 minutes. I don't use 15 minutes greet everybody. Oh, senior girl. Think I drop mic. But anyway, Sha, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate having me here. It's like I used to say, it's always wonderful when I'm being given the chance to, talk to people, and that whatever I'm saying would, if they take it, at the end of the day, it would contribute immensely to their growth. Okay, it will multiply their effort. It will help them attain a higher level of result. So it's a task, not just anyhow task, but a task of life and death. Because information, info, information could give you life, and information could give you death. Yes, depending on the kind of information that you possess or you have access to. So it it makes
Yes.
Brian, your mic, oh.
It's not me. Oh, I'm alone here. Oh.
Tough, don't go carry a shell. Tough, you don't cast for space. Okay. So when we are
God,
giving
I
our
beg, who they supply you loud? Make I know.
I don't understand the guy. Let no meta isha.
Now cheap loud they now cheap loud they use.
all loud, as long as say you don't high, loud na loud, I beg. Not to high be coco. He loud a bit. He high a bit, he no high. He high. So he loud too. Okay. So as I
Oh,
was
that
saying, yeah,
okay.
as I was saying, no, but that thing is still like it's still interrupting. I don't know where it's coming from. So when you're given the opportunity, it's a task because the life of people are in your hands. So the information you are bringing out now have to be not just your opinion, because your opinion could be wrong. To an extent, your knowledge is limited to only your experience. So it will be very it will be, what's the word now? It will be selfish of you if you bring only what you know. So it makes sense that when a topic is given to you, when you say topic, you try to source for um not just your opinion, but the advice or knowledge that through time, when people have implemented this knowledge, they have gotten results. You understand? So because we see that when there are patterns to how things are done, there are patterns. If you want to eat, you must cook. If you want to wear clothes, you start from your head. If you want to if you want to get water, you have to add hydrogen and oxygen. So these are things that when you add together, there is a result. So if you want to be profitable in your trading experience, one of the things you must be very, very aware of, something you must put into consideration, it's your psychology, because psychology is a factor that helps maintain what you have. Now, a man can have the whole world. You see, it's just like, sorry to say, but we are in this country, Nigeria. And one of the things that we all know that is really battling us here in this country is this issue of poor management. And this is a psychological factor. At the end of the day, the way you behave is determined by the way you think. Your thought, psychology. So let me not, maybe the word psychology is big, okay? Maybe it sounds too big. For psychology is your thought process, your mind. Uh-huh. So instead of using psychology, I will use your mind or your thought process. I'll intertwine them. So the way your thought process, which means every time there is something to be done, every time you are engaging something, there is a thing in your head, that your head there is a way you will think it before you act it. You get? Now, it is not only that. Sometimes also when things have happened to you, it is now the way you think about that thing that will now determine how you react to that thing. This explains why some people will lose $10. They will not flinch and nothing will happen. Let somebody lose $1 today. Nobody will hear word on the TL. Or some people, you step on them and they tell you, oh, sorry. They're even the one that will tell you sorry. Step on Agbero, for example, and they burn you well not to say sorry. Now we'll fight there. So we are trying to understand that you see this human behavior that is different from one another. And because of the difference in human behavior, which is a function of the thought process, yes, we get different results. That's why if me and you they quarrel and you apologize, the results that will come out of that quarrel is different from when me and you they quarrel and we carry ourselves to police station. So you can see that at the end of the day, results that we get from the way we behave as a function of our thought process is different. It gives a result. So if I tell you now that every time somebody slaps your right cheek, always turn your left cheek. Do you know that every time, because of I have created something in your mind, once someone slap you on your right cheek, you automatically you turn your left cheek. Why? Because that's the psychology I've built in you. If I tell you that if somebody do you bad, may you do your own back, say, come on, too slow. That's the kind of psychology that you are, that's the kind of mind you will carry. And this is why when somebody do something, you will tell them, I get mind. Why? Because based on you cannot do this thing, but they can do it. So they have a bold kind of their psychology or their mind, their thought process is centered around boldness, while another person own is timidity. So we want to understand that this psychology of a thing, how can it help you to make money? Because you see, there is always a goal, and you see this goal that you desire. You, number one, have to work to get that goal. Number two, there is a thought process, there's a way you think while you are trying to achieve that goal. It is no news that every man you see the position of every man today is because of the result of their thought process. Now, the thing is, your thought process could either out or your thoughts will come in time to come. Yes. Sometimes when something happen right now, because of the way you think about it, sometimes sometimes somebody will offend you or do something, you have let it go, the thing have died in your mind. Then someone will now come and meet you. You know, back then when we were in school, there is, after closing period, because I went to a public school, so every Friday, usually, after closing period, there would be something called, the assembly. So at the end of the, Friday, everybody is done with assembly and we are going home. Now, you see all the quarrel, all the people that have offended you from Monday to Thursday, they will now, you see that Friday morning, that's when they will set fight. Now, when they set fights, chat with Max and Tough, Triabeni and Uncommon. So we don't know, say Max go day that Friday after school. So we'll go to community feed. Now there with the set fight. Now, I'm not even talking about those that are fighting. Those are not the psychological people I'm looking at. Because to them, they are already aggrieved. They are angry. Now, on your way to the field, some of your friends will tell you that is not needed or something, and then you might decide not to go to the field again and do and fight. Now, those who goes to the field to fight their rival, now this is what used to happen. I'm not concerned. I don't want our attention to be on those that are fighting. I want our attention to be on those who are not fighting. There is something they will do. They will say, they will now draw a line. They will say, if they burn you well, cross this line. Or if they burn you well, or if you know, say your mama soup dey sweet, clean this line. And then they are trying to challenge you and inflate your ego, so that by the time you take that action, your psychology is, your mind is, it inflates that ego side of you. And then the other person will now feel threatened. And then you see, these outside people, they are very skilled and talented with words that you might not even be furious. Maybe your furiosity is just 10% when you got to the field. But by the time these people start, when they are done, we say, hey, he call your mama, he call your papa, he say your sister this, hey, if na me, I no go collect, at the end of the day, you get so mad and so angry. Why? Because what they have said, it has changed. It's like a setting. It has changed a setting in your head. So the moment that setting change, you get inflated and you feel like tearing the other person limb from limb. So that's what psychology does for you. It puts you in a position of action. And this action is what people now call your behavior. Your behavior is is something that you do over and over again when you are put in a certain condition. When you are in a situation, there is a way you act. If I know Trader Benny to be somebody who comes to a space, and every time he's on the space, he always fights somebody. That is the behavior that I. So when you see somebody want to talk, they will not say, I don't even like that guy's psychology. No, they don't blame the reason for the result. They blame the result. The result of your psychology is your behavior. So when people now want to talk, they will say, I don't like his behavior. I don't like the way it hacked. He hacked. Why? Because the behavior is what we are seeing. We are not seeing the thought process. So many people, and I think this is like a message to the parents in the house. So many times parents, when they see an action, a behavior, a character, an attitude in their child, and this attitude, they don't like it, they're not comfortable with it, and by experience, by their experience, they know that this thing will drive this child to a dangerous end. They start, back in the days, the way they used to deal with us is they will first tell you to lie down, they will put raw pepper, they would have soaked pepper inside water 1 hour ago. Then when you come, they will pour it inside at your back. And then the pancere they will use to draw pattern. They will use it to spell your name at your back. They would have soaked it somewhere. So that's the way they reset our own psychology back in those days. They will see any spirit of craziness that is inside of you, they will flog it out of you. But it gets to a point, children start building tough skin for it. So at the children of nowadays, most of the parents now try to engage or counter the behavior. They do not go to the root cause. The foundation is the head. But the building, they are trying to collapse the building. Yet this guy still keeps on building this thing. So at the end of the day, when you want to fix an issue, so what I'm trying to say in essence is that if you are not making money in this market, the root cause is your foundation. Your foundation is not don't blame the result. Blame the person who produced that result. Blame the head of that person, because it is the thought process. In fact, it might not even be loss. It might just be, you see, many people are already profitable, but the way they trade is why they are not profitable. They would see a trade that would be in their profit. Some of them, they lack confidence. Some of them, they start doubting. Some of them, they are not patient. Some of them, they act too quickly. And in Forex, you have to find a balance. There is no overdo, there is no underdo. There must be a balance between the way you think and the action you take as a result of the way you think. So that's what we're saying. So you want to make money. You see, when we talk about making money, we are not really stopping there. We are talking about the wealth, the process to attaining wealth. And I divide it into 3. The first thing is you must know how money is made, which means you must make money. So there is a way that there is something you must do, that this money must come. The second key principle to building wealth is that maintaining money, which means this money that is coming, you know how to allocate for your expenses, and you know how to what? Allocate for your income, for your liability and your assets and the likes. And then the third one is how to, the third key to making wealth is you must know how to replenish this money you are making. So as this money is coming, you are not just maintaining. Maintaining keeps this money. It is like risk management. But you see, it is when you know how to replenish through productivity that this money now grows. So you see that maintenance and that replenish, there is a psychological process. So the moment you are in a trade, or in fact, before you take a trade, when you are done with your analysis, there is the next thing is the decision to take the trade or not. If you now decide to take the trade based on your analysis, good and fine. If you did not do analysis before you take the trade, your psychology, at the end of the day, there is a result you will get. And that result is a function of what you thought before you took that action, more than what you did before that thought process came. Because the truth is, when you analyze, you might follow a pattern, which means that there might be necessarily no need for you to think, because these things are already written down and when you see them, you follow them, okay? But you see, it's the decision. You see that decision process, that's where you cross into psychology. The moment you cross that line of decision to buy or not to buy, to sell or not to sell, to follow my analysis or not to follow, you cross into that psychology. And the moment you make a decision, you see, every decision you make as a result of your psychology always come with a consequence. Your consequence could be profit, it could be loss, because at the end of the day, three things will happen to a trader. It's either they make money, they lose money, or they break even. But in the long run, it's either they are making money or they are not making money. So your psychology is what we are looking at, that long run psychology. Why is it you are not making money? What exactly is wrong? We want to know it. So what exactly is wrong? And I think one of the greatest thing that every trader fear, that every trader goes through, I think, in fact, this is the chief captain of the psychological issue we have, and that is fear. Many people are scared. You see, our fear is not even on result. Our fear is on our possession. Many people, they fear for what you see, that money in their account. That is the reason. That's what is holding them down. And until you find a way to solve that puzzle, you find a way to elevate yourself above the fear of losing your money, you will always have that psychology. That's what I was saying. The result, you leave the result. You are losing. We see it. What is causing it? Your head. Go and find the solution to it. So they are scared of losing the money because this money, you walk through it, through pain and sweat and all. So this is why many people, when they hit their TP, maybe they hit $10. And maybe their TP is $50. So they hit just $10 that they are seeing on their life PNL. What do? They screenshot it, come to Twitter. Wow, Euro USD King, I'm the god of them all. Lambo soon, Lambo soon, Lambo soon. You know? And then the thing enter $20. They screenshot again, come here. What can $20 do for you? Drop your account number with and retweet and like and follow and post and tag 15 people on the TL, including Elon Musk. Then at the end of the day, they hit TP. Oh my God. They are not sleeping that day. They will host a space and then they will invite all the dolos. And then the topic is, are you making money or you are losing money? You know, it's not their fault. It's because they have suffered so much that now that they are seeing results. And you see, sorry for that. I will round up very soon. Now, here is how it happens. Sometimes, or in fact, not sometimes, this is how you fix psychology. I will just use a principle which acts as a general solve or a general solution to the issue of psychology. You see, there are two ways that you can solve the issue of psychology. Number one, understanding. Number two, result. Now, your understanding is that you know what is happening. Now, let me cite a very good example. We have many people in the world today who, I watched a video, more like a clip recently of a baby, a young girl. I think she should be about 4 or 5 years old. So I think she came from school and then she pulled, you know, back then in the days when we come from school, we remove our uniform day left, the trouser day right, our socks is somewhere, it's in the next day. Now that time we go come and find socks. In fact, I will not lie, me and part of those people that used to wash uniform early in the morning, we squeeze it inside another clothes, try to dry clean. I learned dry cleaning through those things. So this baby, maybe she came from school and she dropped this clothes. So her mom was like, she called her name and she was being aggressive, like, carry this thing and go and drop things. And the girl did not answer her. Then her mom raised her voice. Then the girl was like, no, you know, kids of nowadays, they can revolt as anything. You understand? So her mom couldn't do anything. Well, actually, her mom wanted to, you know, become more aggressive. Then the dad was like, honey, hold on. So do you know what the dad did? The dad carried all the clothes and then he went in front of the child and I said, you see this house, we pay money to maintain it. And then sometimes me and your parents, you know, he explained the reason why you know, the parents would need the help of the kid. And then at the end, do you know what happened? The kid willingly collected the clothes and took it to her room. You see, when you try to explain something to someone and that person is not understanding that thing, don't blame that person if that person goes back to do that thing again. Because that person does, it is understanding that lets you know what to do. So when you try to explain to this person, see, the reason why you are making laws is this, is that, and that. And then they now understand that truly this is the reason. They start changing. So it is through this change. Now, it is not an immediate process. It takes time. But psychology it's like a stronghold. A stronghold. It holds you down or it keeps pushing you up. You understand? So they start changing, and at the end of the day, they become very profitable trader. So that is the first solution. The second solution to psychological issue in trading is results. And results, when I want to write it down, I'll say results builds confidence. Now, you will see many people who, till you die, while you are making money in this forex market, they will never believe it is possible to make money in this market. In fact, there are some people right now, when you speak the language of internet money, they start telling you that what kind of sorcery is that? It is not possible. And why? It is not their fault. They have not seen a result so real and convincing that will change their psychology. That is what they need. So results also helps build. You see, remember I said fear is one of the chief issue we have in psychology. So the word that is opposite of fear now is confidence. So we build confidence in this market on the results that we have. So every time I come to the market, I repeat something, and because of a certain thought process, I make money. And I do this the first time, the second time, the third time. What do you think would happen? Nobody on earth will come and tell me one or two things and tell me this and that and that, and you think I will just follow like that. No, why? You have to convince me to. In fact, see, it is very difficult to convince somebody that has results, a very good result, because at that point, the psychology is cemented on a desire. There is a desire, money, and that desire is coming. So there is nothing you want to tell that person that this thing doesn't work, that thing doesn't work, this and no. You will just talk and you will go. So when you get results, it builds your confidence, and this confidence in turn now improves your psychology. I hope one or two things that I've said so far helps you guys, one or two people in the building. Thank you for allowing me speak, Cookie. I really appreciate. I'll drop the mic here.
Thank you so much, Chatted Max. We are so grateful for all that you've dropped. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for all the words you have. So, that blessed girl, thank you so much for being on this space. And then, Uncommon, please, I'm sending you a mic again. Fiona, I'm so sorry for mistakenly removing you from the space as well. It wasn't intentional. I mistakenly just removed you
Hey,
out.
you come on, our space never rock.
So okay, so the next speaker will be Olu of Trades, because of course he was supposed to speak earlier, but I think he was having network issues to be the speaker. So please, Uncommon and then Trader Benny, please give me a minute. You guys will speak before this space ends.
I would strongly advise Rabeni should speak last, because if he speaks now, nobody goes to it to talk again.
Don't gree,
No, I
don't
even
gree where
I'm
that
speaking
guy
from
go.
experience.
So
I'm speaking
Mr.
from experience.
In fact, Uncommon would not allow Trader Benny to talk before him. So let Uncommon talk. Come
Yes,
now.
exactly.
Okay, so Mr. Olu of Trades, please, if you can hear me, kindly carry on.
All right. Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so honored to speak on this space. I got the invite from Boss Lady, and I told her I would definitely be here. I had to count. I thought I won't be available earlier before, but I just knew that I had to be here. And big appreciation to everyone that jumped on the discount on my course. Yeah, the appreciation goes to those that realize that there is knowledge that was going for free. And the 1,000 naira was basically for commitment, just something to commit yourself to it. I actually wanted to drop it free, but I needed to put something out to make people committed to it. And the turnout was really good. And I appreciate um, every single friend of mine, influencer, trader that purchased for their people. You know, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me. I kept saying that I'll buy for 5 people, I'll pay for 6 people, I'll pay for 10 people, and my heart just got melted over and over and over and over again. That this is the type of love that the FX industry needs, rather than trying to beef ourselves over things that don't really matter. Some people might have money, some people might not have money. It is of no use as long as you can make the money that can buy you food, that can pay your rent. I think peace of mind is relative. I think success is relative. I think wealth is relative. As long as you have that can settle you, sort your basic things, I think you are basically good. And that is what we should preach more in this FX Twitter, and give hope to people that are coming up, to know that it is not really about the big money. Definitely, it makes a lot of sense to make a lot of money, but that is not the thing. If As long as you can do a little bit with yourself, then you are fine. And that's why I keep encouraging, promoting the normalcy with living, promoting normalcy with everything, right? And big shout out to V. Big shout out to V. He promotes normalcy a lot, and big shout out to him. Big shout out to everyone that promotes normalcy. It's very good, right? And again, normalcy can be relative. My normal could be that I am buying a private jet every single week, while another person's normalcy could be that he's buying a fairly used Toyota Corolla 2004 every single year, right? Normalcy is relative, but then bearing people in mind, we can all adjust our normalcy to be okay with everybody's reality. Okay, to be okay with everybody's reality, and that's one thing that caused it. It just brought everybody to the same level. We saw people that we knew were very boxed up buying 1,000 naira course, and that showed that everybody can be on the same level for once in this whole industry. So thank you guys for the love. It was really awesome, and once again, I can throw a large hug and a lot of kisses to everybody. So let's talk about psychology of trading. It's a topic that we dragged a lot in 2022, and I don't want to say so much about it. I When I started doing some video series, it was one of the first things I talked about. I said your personality. If your personal life is not disciplined, your trading can never be disciplined. There is nothing you can do about it. Now, discipline might not mean that let us take away the Christian factor, where discipline, I mean, not carrying girls, not drinking alcohol, that's not discipline. That's you being a Christian, being righteous, being a Christian rather, and, having that good moral. Being disciplined mean you set out to do some things and you get it done with your main life. If you can translate that into your trading, then you will be good. It's psychological. It's psychological to say I will get up by 6 a.m. every day and do so when I wake up, and then you keep at it consistently for a long time. It builds your psychology, it builds your emotions, it builds your character, right? You can say, okay, I'll wake up around 5. I'll do this from 5 to 5:30. I'll do this very activity from 5 o'clock to 5:30, and then I can decide to sleep till 7 or 7:30, then get up and do what I want to do. That is another thing you can actually focus on. But if you have these activities in your life that you are following with very serious disciplinary measures, it will translate into your trading. There's no way you can go about it. It will. The activities you put out, the kind of things you put out, will show what your life really is like. All right. So for trading, you need to work on your life first. So after having worked on your life, let's now look at trading. Trading, first of all, coming with a psychology that trading will make me very rich is very good. But dwelling on that psychology would wreck you, because you would always want to make that money as fast as possible. You will forget the process and always pursue the results. You will forget the process and always pursue the result. And when you keep pursuing the results, you can keep pursuing that result for 25 years, and you would lose out on the process. And you just realize you've been trading for 4 years and you don't really have a progress report of your life. In all honesty, you just realize you don't have a progress report of your life. You just realize you've been jumping from one thing to another thing to another thing, because you've just been pursuing results, not the process. And the process is growth. You should be able to tell yourself, I was here and I saw this and I improved, then I moved here, and I saw this and I improved, then I moved here, and I saw this and I improved, then I moved here. Not the merry-go-rounding of, I was here, I moved here, and then I went back to zero, and then I moved next and I went back to zero, and then I moved next, it worked a bit, then I went back to zero. You are focusing on results, not process. Okay, and that is another psychology to trading. If you come in with the psychology of that, like that, you would be there for a long time without results. So what type of psychology should you come in with? The psychology that I said from the beginning: work on feeding yourself first. Always work on feeding yourself first. Eat, have peace of mind, then you can now scale. I remember sometime in 2018, I told a friend, of 2017 rather, when I first knew about binary options, I told a friend of mine that if I can be making 50,000 naira a month from binary options, I will quit my job at the time, And then I was already doing like 140K a month, I just said if I saw if I saw 50,000 naira a month at that time, I would quit my job, because whatever would make me make 50,000 naira from the forex, from these candles at the time, from this chart, whatever will make me make 50K, in a couple of months, I should be able to start doing 70, start doing 80, start doing 100. That was my projection. It didn't work out the way I said it, though, because work was really, really stressful. But then, all I was looking at then was just to make enough money to be able to feed myself and save a little to pay my rent by the end of the year. That was my target. That was all I was thinking about. And that is what you should think about coming to trading. Then, another aspect of this psychology, I'm just putting out these things from my mind, I didn't write anything down, is how do you manage yourself in the trading? We've talked about journaling for a long, long time. How do you manage yourself? Journaling is good, awesome. It's very, very awesome. Even these days, I forget to even journal now. It's God that will help me. I need to go back to it. But we forget ourselves to journal sometimes. But how have you trained yourself in managing your risk? How many percent do you risk? Are you consistent with that risk? Are you consistent? Do you take responsibility for the risk that you take? Do you take responsibility for those risks? That thing could ruin your emotions. It could ruin your psychology. It could ruin everything you have built once you start changing what you already know. If it's 0.5% you want to risk per trade, stay with it. And if the trade doesn't do at least 1:2, don't touch it. Just leave it there. Because you know that you are risking just 0.5 of your account. Leave it there. And one advice I always do that could help people's psychology in trading is, if you can, please put this bear it in mind, that if you can, you should have one account that you always put money in, that you can flip and pour your anger on, while you have one account that you manage your risk on. Very important. I do that a lot. I always have one account where I just put $50, put $100, put $200, put $300, and I'm trying to flip it to whatever it wants to become, right? And then I have the one that I dare not go against my trading plan. I dare not. So when I see an impromptu trade that fits into my plan, I go and aggressively take it on that one. And I will take it on my own, but I will take it with risk management, proper risk management. That is the idea. It helps you manage your psychology by every means. It helps you manage your psychology. And I don't want to talk too much. I just want this little I've said to sink deep. The little I've said to sink deep. Building your psychology is, first of all, thinking about feeding yourself. Then start scaling from there. Feed yourself first. It's very important to me. I was feeding myself first. Then I now said, okay, I think we can now buy a car, you know. And then I got a Honda. And one of all these, I think I posted it one day, and then I got a Honda, you know. And then before you know it, I got another car. Before you know it, I got another car. And as I'm talking to you guys, in another 1 or 2 weeks, I'm planning to buy another car. Even though I won't post it, I won't just mention it on this space. I will possibly buy another car. But by this week or next week, I should buy another one. And it's in 8 digits, right? It's in 8 digits. So you first focus on eating, then you have peace of mind. Ballet. Your mind will rest. Then you can now scale from there because you've gotten to a level. I will say this before I end. There are thresholds in life, and there is a threshold that you have to break. When you break a particular threshold, don't jubilate. Work on breaking and staying in that threshold very well before you start jubilating. So let me say this, for example. If you start making $50 every week, don't start jubilating like, I be guru now, I know how to. No. Make that $50 for like 3 months first. Then you know that you have stayed in that threshold. You have planted your foot in that threshold. Then try to move up. Try 150 per week. We will realize that you will keep going back to 50. You keep going back to 50 for a long time before you will now break through 150. You can do 150 once in a while, blow the account or do whatever you want to do with the account. And before you know it, you are up, you are back. Before you know it, you are stable on 150. Then you've broken that threshold. Then you move up again. You break that threshold. For the Christians in the house that believe in tithing and seed sowing and all of that, there was one thing I used to believe in one time. If you're a Muslim, apologies. There's one thing I used to believe in one time that then I used to sow seeds a lot. I still sow seeds a lot anyway. So I wanted to break the. I was always having 50K, 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 And I was like, dear Lord, I want to break this 50K. If somebody wants to bring a deal to me, it's 50,000 naira the person will bring. Anything else, it will be in the range of 40, 50, 60, 70. It's always in that range. And it was very annoying, right? And then I was attending Christ Embassy at the time. And then they brought Rhapsody of Realities. And I got it something of 70,000. And I pack all the money and I just pour it and say, Baba God, see, I want to break this level. I'm tired. Right? It took a while. And then I broke the level. It didn't take a while, though. In like 3 months, I broke that level. And that was when I started earning like over 100,000. And then I forgot to do all those sewing seats and all that. And then sometime in 2021, I said, oh God, I want to break this. I was making a lot of 100,000s, but it was always in 100,000s. I want to break this 100. So I started sewing. I would just go and take 100,000. This is me going a little bit spiritual now. I would take 100,000. I would drop it. I would sew it and I would say, God, I want to pass this level. I'm tired of being in this level. So sometimes when I just draw it and I'm in that prayer mode, some ideas will just drop and then I'll run with the ideas. So I kept sewing 100,000 almost every month. And this time my income is never up to 500,000. But I'm sewing, doing that over and over and over and over and over again. And then one day, boom, something huge comes and I'm doing like 1 point something million. Wow. So what do? I take like 300,000. I say, now this is it. I've broken down 100,000. This is what it shows me. I took like 300K. I dropped. And before you know it, I started seeing deals in 300K. Is this how this seems to work? This is nice. Oh. I know God is not a money doubler, but this is beautiful. I'm talking of thresholds, guys. And then it was easy for me to gather 500,000 at this point. I just gathered 500K and said, okay, let me see what I will do. And then I dropped 500,000. I think that was the period some money came. I changed my car again. And then I realized that most of the deals that came to me were in 500, 600, 700K. And it was very consistent. Almost every week, at least once every 2 weeks, I will see a deal. Or I will see, apart from trading, I will see a deal that will give me that money. 500, 600, 700K. Once every 2 weeks. It was just too amazing. Now so it be, And then a period comes, I said, now it's time to enter millions. Then I carry 1 million naira. Boom, I dropped. I carry 1 million. I dropped. No, before the 1 million, I think I carry like 3 million and just say, Baba God, thank you. This is a seed of thanksgiving. I dropped 3 million. And then I did 1 million. I said, now I want to break 1 million level. And I can tell you guys, there is no month, apart from trading, there is no month that if I sleep and wake up, I was telling some guys at the dinner, if I sleep and wake up, I don't do anything for a month, I will make 1 million. I don't trade, I don't do anything. I don't know how it will come. It will just come. This is the way you should think in your trading. This is the way you should think in your trading. You need to stay in a threshold. You will do everything to be in that threshold. Let your legs be strong in that threshold very well first. Then you now move to the next level and break it. Move to the next level. If you don't, if your mind is not settled to do these things, you will keep going around in circles. Some people might be richer than me, or me that I'm doing seats and all that. Or person where they drink, where they carry man, possibly has more money than me, which is okay. But I am telling you my own experience, my own lifestyle, how it works for me. Work on your own personality, deal with it, figure out yourself, and then use it to pattern your life. Don't be lazy with your life, or else somebody that is not lazy with his own life will use you to work for him. Let me say that again. Don't be lazy with your life, or somebody that isn't lazy with his own life will use you to work for him. So that's my take, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, Olu of Trades, for that wonderful sermon. Boss lady, are you there? Angel, boss lady. Okay. So before my co-host,
Okay.
yes. Okay. Before my co-host
Can you hear
gets
me?
us. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay. So before my co-host try to speak, I would like to appreciate every single one of you that made it to this space today. I'm so grateful. And I would love for you to give every single speaker that has spoken, or every single speaker that is on the speaker row right now, a follow up, so that you can keep up with the trading tips that these people drop on their pages. It could help you go a long way in your trading career as well. So I'm so grateful for every single person that made it to this space today. I'm so grateful for every single person that made it to this space today. So here I will call on Uncommon. I think Uncommon is having network issues, so I'll call upon Trader Penny to speak. Okay, before Trader Penny speaks, I saw a question. Someone asked a question on here, so I would like Mr. Toff to answer the first question, and then Olu of Trades will answer the second question, and then we'll have Trader Benny for our last speaker for the night. So for Mr. Toff, please, Mr. Toff.
Yeah, yeah, go on.
Yes. So
I'm going with the question now. Or what question? Cookie, are you speaking?
I don't know. I don't think, and I don't think. I think she may be rubbing,
I
Sha.
think she's having network issues. Let me read the question.
no, I'm not having network issue. Sorry, I just off my mic without noticing. So please, did you hear me?
Okay, okay.
Angel, would
No,
you
we didn't
like
hear
to
you.
do us the
Yes.
honors of reading
Hmm?
the question for Mr. Toff?
Yeah, go on with the question. Like read it
Okay.
out.
Okay, the question is, this was he said. So I've been trading for 9 months when I was 17 years, and now I'm 18 and already making some profits. So what advice or psychological thoughts do you have for me on how to manage the profits I make from trading? That's the question. How to manage the profits he made from trading.
Mm. So he has been trading for 9 months and is 18. that's it.
Yes.
That's a funny question. Now the point is that I don't know how long he has been making that profits, right? Because I cannot say he's a profitable trader unless I know the time he has started making money, right? How long he has been making a profit. Because if he has been trading for 9 months, if I assume that he learned for the first 3 months or 4, 5, 6 months, it means that maybe he just has 3 months left that he has been making the money. So we cannot really know about that. But anyways, to answer the question, assuming that let's say he has been consistent, I'm assuming that he's a consistently profitable trader by assumptions, okay? Which is rare, but let's just assume that he's exceptional, one of a kind. Okay, so if for that age, I would say that he should understand financial planning because there are a lot of questions you would want to ask someone now. That's someone like 18 years old and making money. If you're 18-year-old and you're making money, I would want to ask you questions like, I mean, are you in school? Do you plan to go back to school? Do you have any responsibilities at hand? What's the role of your parents in your life? So there are many questions I would love to ask the young man. But as regards profit, the goal of a trader is just to ensure that you don't enter the stage of, we call it euphoria. And what is euphoria? Euphoria is a stage of overconfidence that comes from winning streaks. So you're winning back to back, you're having profits, you're having WWW, you really have L's and all of that. And you start to feel like you are invincible. You start to feel, I think it was Cookie who said it when she started the speech. She was like, or either Cookie or Angel, you don't just have psychological problems when you're in losing streaks. You can also have psychological problems when you're on winning streaks, when you're making money. Yeah, it's a two-sided thing. You can actually have psycho problems when you're making money because it's at that point you know that you should increase your risk. So I'll tell that guy who asked the question that um this is not the time to increase your risk. This is not the time to over leverage. Okay, the markets are not certain. Markets are it's not a place whereby you can consistently make the same ROI per month. Okay, so I'll tell him to prioritize risk management for now. I'm assuming that he's a profitable trader and he's consistent. So we should understand risk management, prioritize it. All right, risk according to your capital size, based on what you've been doing to get to that stage of profitability. So don't change it. So if you've been risking consistent 1%, continue. If you've been risking consistent 2%, continue. When your account increases, okay, increase your risk also. So let's say you are trading a 10K account, right? Once you get to maybe 50 or 20K, you can do 2%, or yeah, 2% of the same account size. All right, so just make sure that it's corresponding. Okay, so it's a very generic question, knowing how to keep up, but the major psychological problem of profits is euphoria. There's no other problem. Euphoria causes overconfidence, it causes over leveraging, it causes over risking. You start to feel like you are the gods of the market. You've mastered the market. You've not mastered the market. If you can hear me, you've not mastered any market. The market cannot really be mastered. It takes years and years. You cannot master the market in 9 months. Okay, you might be a rare breed that was lucky to start making money early, but ensure that then finally keep up the work you've been doing. If you've been backtesting before, don't say because you've started making money you want to reduce the number of hours you backtest. Still backtest. Your journaling, still take it serious. Whatever thing you did to get to that stage of profitability, do not say that because you've gotten to that stage now, it's time to take a rest. There is no rest in trading. We keep grinding. I think I saw a lot of trades and posts last 2 weeks where it was backtesting on FX replay. You get, he's a successful trader, made a lot of money from forex, yet was still backtesting. So if someone like a lot of trades can backtest, right, even after years of consistency, then how much more you are just 18-year-old or 19 and just 9 months. So everything you did to get to that stage, all of the things you did, to make the money. For you to keep the money, you need to continue. Keeping profit is different from making profit. You can make profit, but you might not keep it. So the two things that will make you keep it is one, risk management, and two, ensuring that you maintain the consistent habits that led you to that phase. And when I mean consistent habits, I mean things like backtesting, for testing, your journaling, your meditation, and all of those things. You understand? So that's it, Cookie.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Toff. Please, the second question goes to Olu of Trades, and then we have Trader Benny to run up the space for us. So the second question is, the person says, how does one practically overcome fear of entering trades? So, Mr. Olu of Trades, this question goes to you. Mr. Olu of Trades, please, are you here with us? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Please, can the question be repeated? I
Yeah,
got it to be distracted.
okay. So the question is, the person said, how does one practically overcome fear of entering trades?
Now, this is the problem. You are scared to enter trade first of all because you are planning to risk like 50% of that money that is in your account. So you put $100 in your account, then you risk $40 out of it. First problem, you never know how to calculate the risk. That's your first problem. Secondly, your second problem is you are risking too much. So you risked the first $40 and you lost it. Why won't fear catch you with the remaining $60? That's the problem. Honestly, I've been there several times. The problem with fear comes with you over risking almost 90% of the time. I don't know if anybody else has any other reason why people will get scared to enter a trade. It's because you've been risking too much and you've been taking losses. You blew one account because you risked too much. You'll be loading on that money. You start getting scared. But if you can just discipline yourself and risk just a particular percentage that is okay by you to risk, so you know that if I have $100 and I am risking $5 per trade to make $15 per trade or to make $20 per trade, that's 1:4. Let me not go too far. 1:3. That's five. This $5 make $15. That means you will need to make 20 losses, 20 whole losses to lose that money completely. Can you make 20 losses consistently, consecutively? No, now, except you are a dickhead or you don't know what you are doing. So, and if you make 20 losses consecutively, drop forex. Just drop forex. Go and learn mechanic work. Just go and learn mechanic work. So that is just my answer to you. Reduce your risk. Know what you are risking per trade and stick with it. You realize that your fear will reduce. Now I'm not even scared to I just see a trade. I know I'm risking 1% of my 50K account, 1% of my 100K account. I will just risk it there. And I'll just leave it. I don't even go back to check it. Sometimes when it has moved 1:3, I take some profits, move stop loss to entry, and see what the rest will do for me. That's what I always do. With peace of mind. Peace, total peace of mind, absolute peace of mind. Then don't be greedy. If you have a $200 account and that is all you have, don't try to flip that $200 account. Do small first, feed yourself, make $50. You can now take that $50, go and put it somewhere and go and be flipping with that one. Help yourself, help your psychology. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olu of Trade. And hopefully the two people that asked their question got the answer they were looking for to apply to their trading journey to become a better trader. Anyways, Trader Benny, please take us away. You are on.
Okay, so Cookie, it's the first time I'm seeing your space, and
This is the first time
I
I'm
mean
actually
it's
hosting one. So this is our first
yeah.
space.
Can you go and sit?
Sorry. Okay, so yeah, so it's a good thing. I mean, because it looked like Brian said that is girls space that they are hosting like this. So I don't know whether it's girls trading psychology we are going to talk about. Is normal. So but I'm happy to see you, taking the initiative to influence people positively. This is I would say personally one thing that I feel is my personal, service to humanity, because when like Ulu of Trade says, somehow when you give, the universe have a way of, yeah, God in this case, has a way of, you know just giving it back to you. This is a natural thing it's a law, right? It's a law. It's like those that have more responsibilities, somehow they make more money because they know they have responsibilities, right? And those who run away from responsibilities, somehow they don't get money, right? Because they are selfish, self-centered. They keep everything they have to themselves, right? It's not difficult for the people who have shared in this call today to just say, okay, these things I know, I'm not telling anybody. I'll just keep it to myself and use it to make my own money and be fine, right? It's something they can just decide to do. But here we are, talking to people that we have never met, that we may never meet, and that will use some of these informations, and then they will become better. And what do you call that if it's not pure service to humanity? So look at Olu of Trade. I just checked out as he was talking, what he did. How do you give out a course at 1,000 naira, right? Not $1,000, 1,000 naira. It's ridiculous, right? So you can just see, and the first thing I said there is that not all heroes wear cape, because I mean, you just see that it's just selflessness, right? Because if any of you have ever tried to teach somebody something, you will understand what it is, to put something together, you know so it's just some of the things that really draw me to the community, regardless of everything. And I just want to stay because I mean, you don't find things like this elsewhere, right? It's not easy to come by. I've been trading for a long time. I've never had the level of communal relationship that I've found on the space, even though there's been a lot of toxicness, if that's a word, right? There's toxicity, but somehow you still have people that are genuine, that have clean heart, and that are willing to see you, make progress. So this is a good step in the right direction, and I'm sure for you and the other guys, you will just see a lot of opportunities and doors that will open to you for the service that you're doing. So on the topic psychology, it's my forte. It's something I like to talk about a lot because I feel like it's the bane of a lot of traders. Many people would be better off with the knowledge that they have if they have a psychological edge, right? If they have the advantage of psychology, they would be better, right? They would be better. But and I've heard people who think that psychology is not a thing at all, and I just feel like they don't even understand what psychology mean. Because if we agree to an extent that psychology entails discipline, how do you say that psychology entails discipline and you are not disciplined, or and you bash it and say it's not important? It doesn't make any sense, right? And if you also don't think that psychology is important, think about when you are waiting for your setup on your chart and you sit down and the market is printing and maybe is slow, right? And all of a sudden, there are big red bars. The market is just, nosediving. You were waiting for something to happen. And now all of a sudden, the market is selling with full force. You will sell out of nowhere. You will just sell out of nowhere. This is nowhere in your plan. You have no idea where your stop loss should be. You have no idea what you are risking on that trade. But somehow you are in the trade. What happened to you? The market has lured you to engage. Is it not? So so you now see that psychology is important. It's not even something you should debate. The other day I gave an example. I said, if all of us in this call buy at a certain level, we know that okay, we are trading a reversal setup. If we are trading a reversal setup and we expect the market to reverse from, let's say, 10, right? Reverse from 10 all the way. If it goes to 11, it means that it did not reverse. It's trying to continue. If it goes to 12, 13, 14, it did not reverse. It's trying to continue. We all want to take the reversal trade. Now, if I call the number here and I say, okay, oh, everybody, oh, let's reverse this, let's sell this market at 10. We will all get in at 10. But at the end of the day, every trader will have a different result. That is trade psychology. That is trade psychology. This, we're not talking about what happened before, whether you have you analyzed it, whether we are not talking about anything that's happened before we call down that number 10 as the level to sell from. But now we have sold. Some people will end up taking $50 from that trade. Some people will end up taking $500. And I'm talking about everybody having exactly the same account size. Some people will take plus $500. Some people will take plus $10,000. Some people will take minus $100. Some people will take, in fact, you just see what happens is everybody ends up with a different result, even though we all agreed that we were going to start selling from 10. That is what I want you to understand now, that psychology is important. It is how calm and collected can you be to take that trade and see it through. That is psychology. How calm and collected, how chill, how relaxed, how detached can you stay and see that trade to the end, executing your edge, executing the setup as you have predetermined it. This is where psychology comes in, and we need to, because when we say, oh, trade psychology, oh, trade psychology, some people just say, okay, don't revenge trade, okay, don't over risk, okay, don't do this, okay, don't do that. They don't even know what exactly psychology is. See, for you to understand what is happening in psychology generally, it is your pursuit, or it is you trying your best to strike a balance between fear and greed, and for you to develop patience. If you lack patience, for example, your setup doesn't come on Monday, but somehow you are in a trade on Monday, when your setup could have showed on Tuesday or maybe on Wednesday. But somehow you are in a trade on Monday. Why? You already have a plan, you already have an edge or whatever. And I'll tell you, one of the reasons for psychology problem is that the person does not have an edge. He doesn't know what he needs to see to engage. So everything goes for them. But I'm assuming that this trader has already fixed the first part. The first part of your journey as a trader is for you to learn and develop yourself a set of variables. I don't care what you use. There's a lot of argument around what you should use to develop your edge, and that's not important to me. Some people come and say, oh, why are you doing fundamental analysis? It's not important because you will still see it inside the chart. It's a belief, it's a philosophy, and it works. They don't care about fundamental analysis. They are using TA and they are making money. If you like, hit your head on the wall. They are making money. Some people say, okay, oh, fundamental analysis is nonsense. We need geopolitical information. We need all these variables from fundamentals, and to be able to know whether the currency is weak or strong and all that. And then we look for 1 hour candles to use to buy and all that, right? Are you going to now tell them that they are wrong? They are not wrong. One of the closest thing to price movement is the currency, the economy of that currency. So they are right. Now, the other people come, and in fact, there are many things that you can use. There's sentiment, there's many things, there's other flow. There are many things that you can consider and say, okay, this is where I want to come from. I just want to see number of people buying, number of people selling, then I make my decision. Right? So what I'm saying is, all that thing is the first step in your journey to profitability, because that's the ultimate goal of every trader. When you fix that, whether through TA or through any other thing, ensure you know it very well. When you fix it, you build an edge around it. Your edge, I want people to understand this. See, your edge is, at the end of the day, you are telling yourself that I want to be able to execute a certain win rate or risk to reward. I don't know how else I'm going to make this thing sink in. If you don't know the risk to reward that you are executing, you are going to struggle with psychology. If you cannot tell yourself, I am playing 1:2, or I am playing 1:3, or I am playing 1:1 because I have a good win rate, maybe 80%, 90%, which is very rare, right? That's why it's easier to say 1:2. Excuse me. It's easier to say 1:2 or 1:3, right? Because most times you end up with a 40, 50, 60% system. Market will hardly, show you a hand 80% of the time, right? Most times it's canceling itself out. It's canceling itself out. So it's difficult to find a system that gives you more than 60/40, right? So that's, by the way, what I'm saying is, understand that your goal, first goal, is, what am I playing? Am I playing risk to reward or win rate? If you are playing risk to reward, then see, before you tell yourself, oh, I'm playing risk to reward in quotes, you must have developed the evidence that that thing will work. Is it not? You would have developed the evidence. You would have told yourself that, okay, I've backtested these particular variables. When I say variables, I'm talking what you are using, break of structure, order block, all those things. Those are variables, technical variables, support and resistance, technical variables, candle patterns, and all these things. They are technical variables. These variables, when you look at them, add the confluences, they will now give you an edge. That is, they will now let you say, okay, on every trade it may not work, but after 10 you will win 4 or 5 or 6, right? After 5 you will win like 2 or 3. This is the game we are playing. From this point, your work is almost done. The only thing you need from that point is an iron mindset. The only thing you need from this point is to zero your mind. And it is not easy, I have to tell you. The thing the market does to every trader is, of course, we know that the market is not, is not playing naturally with our human emotion, with our DNA. Is opposite, right? Because the first thing it will give you is threat. The first thing it will give you is loss. How do you deal with a loss? That's the first major problem. You have an expectation, right? When you have an expectation, oh, I expect the market to bounce from a certain level, and the market fails to bounce, it completely ignores it. There's no reaction, in fact. It just goes fiam. It doesn't even look back. For something that you use 3, 4, 5 hours to analyze, you become disappointed. You feel bad, right? And see, when you have an expectation and that expectation is cut short, you feel bad. You feel, you see, it's called, your stress hormone increases. That's what is happening physiologically. Your stress hormone increases. And when you have those hormones in your body, you start to see it. Even physiologically, the person is palpitating. The person is breathing faster. The shoulder blades are stiffened. The person is only breathing with 1/3 of their upper lungs. And then they go on tilt. They've just taken a loss. They're not happy at all. Now, what do they want to do? They want to fix it. If I say, if I go back to the example I gave earlier, I say, everybody, let's sell at 10, right? I say, let's all sell at 10. Some people sold at 10. They understand that they are playing a reversal game of 1:3. We are playing a reversal of 1:3. I don't care. I don't care if I lose the 1%. But I know that I am not to interrupt my play. My play in this case is RR, which is 1:3. I am not to interrupt my 1:3
because if I do that, I am going to sabotage my edge. This is what psychology is. Psychology is the discipline to sit on that 1:3 in this example I'm giving. That's where a lot of people now miss it. Because if we all sell at that 10 and we expect the market to return back to 7 at least for us to get a 1:3, so that if the market doesn't want to reverse and it wishes to continue, it goes to 11, we take a SL. Do you know that if we are how many are we? About 200 on this call. If we are 200 on this call, about 50 persons, that's a successful trade though. It ended up going to 7. But the market will give you market gyration, which is natural. It will enter that 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, come back to 9, go to 8. It will not reach your 7. It will go back to test your entry at 10. In the process of doing this, about 20 people would have exited the trade and entered the trade back. It is the same 10 that we all entered from. This is psychology. That's what I'm saying. We are all playing a game here. What I'm giving you is the rule of the game. You need an iron mindset to succeed. Some people will take a loss on a profitable trade. Some people will not want 1:3 to play. They will use a big lot size at that 10 so that they hope to pass their account if it just shift to 9.5. They just want it to shift to 9.5. But because the market may go to 10.5 first, Cookie, please tell me I'm audible.
We can hear you.
We are
Can
still
hear
All
you
right.
well.
audible.
All
Yeah.
right. So I'll just round off. I'll just round off because see, psychology is not difficult, and I feel like there's no need like overflogging this issue. The people who want to get what I'm saying and what I just said now is not difficult to understand. The only thing I will just tell you is if you're struggling with psychology, you are having one of, I would say, three problems. One could be your inability to accept that risk that you have placed, which is something I think Olo of Trade mentioned. Is it Olo of Trade or Tov? I can't remember now. I'm sorry. But a speaker has mentioned this. I think it was Olo of Trade. Your inability to accept the loss on the trade. This is a big, big factor that drives psychological problems. If you did not say, okay, I have a $10,000 account and I'm risking 1%, which is $100, right? If you did not say that, you now risk $500, which is even maybe more than your daily limit. You cannot take that trade correctly. Is it difficult to understand? You can't. If you don't know, what of people who because we say sell at 10, some people just use any kind lot size. They did not predefine the risk. They just entered anyhow. Right? There's a group of people in this call that will do that. Once we say, I call this and I say, okay, everybody open your charts to gold, sell. Some people will just immediately I say open it, sell. Some people will sell. They will not even predefine the risk. They are part of the people in this call now. They will do it. Now, that is a category. What do you think is going to happen at the end of the day? Such person will eventually get a bad result. Even if they get a good result, it will not be sustainable because they have not understood the game that they are playing. The game you are playing is a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers. If we say sell at 10 today and it worked out, you sold at 10, you make 3% profit. You are looking for 8%, is it not? You make 3% profit. What do you do from that point? You're looking for 5% next. On your next trade, you can increase to 2% per trade for another 1:3, or leave it at 1:3, 1%. By the time you take 5 trades like that and you get 2, you have what? Around 3, 4, 5, 6%. No, you've lost 3 and you've made 6. So you have 3, right? Repeat it again for another set of 5 trades. You have what? 6. Just go like that. You see that you have what? 9. Is it not? In 15 trades, you have 9. The problem, a lot of trades said divide, okay, into 20 trades, except you are a dickhead, you will not be able to pass or something like that, right? I think I heard that part when he said it. See, the problem is not understanding that if you divide it into 20, you will succeed. That's not the problem. The problem is there is out of that 20, maybe trade number 6 or trade number 11. When you enter it, you will not risk what you are supposed to risk. When you enter it, you will not do what you're supposed to do. Or it may not be the setup. So you can see that psychology is something that is actually is quite important. It's quite important. And it's not difficult. Let's not make it difficult. It's not difficult. If you can tell yourself, okay, this is my risk on this trade, and you can do that repeatedly without error, you're going to go a long way. And you do it and accept it. You do it. It's not just doing it. You do it and accept it. You go a long way. You go a long way to help yourself. Then another thing is if you're not desperate, right? If you're not desperate, why will you trade on Monday if your setup is not there? Instead of waiting till maybe Tuesday when it will come, or Wednesday when it will come. It's because you are desperate. You don't have a job. You need to pass the account as soon as possible. So anything you see, you will trade, whether it's your setup or not. This is now an example of somebody who will lack patience. They don't have the patience to wait for the right setup, and they probably don't have the patience to wait for the trade to get to 1:3. So you can see, I think a lot of trade also mentioned that, right? Eh, Get it first. Look for something. If you must, look for something. Trading is easier when you are not desperate. The psychology problem we are talking about may be because you are hungry, or all your lifeline is on that account. And then what will you do? You mess the thing up and you blame everybody for your indiscipline. You blame the prop firm, you blame the mentor, you blame the strategy, you blame everybody except yourself. Except yourself. You screwed it up. You would have just traded the normal way. Play your 1:3. In 4-5 trades, you are done with that account. I'm telling you, in 4-5 trades, maximum 10 trades, you are done with the account. But what happened? Psychology. You couldn't play it. All right, guys. So I think I'll just stop here. I'll stop here because I mean I can go on and on with this. I feel like we know the fix. We know the fix with psychology. We all actually do know the fix. The first thing is, if you have not figured out your edge, forget about psychology. Your problem is not psychology. You lack evidence. You lack the evidence that what you're doing is working. So if you're looking, oh, psychology, oh, I'm over trading, oh, I'm over risking, oh, you don't know what you are doing. So that's why you are doing all those mistakes. So you must know the edge first, and you must prove it to yourself that it works. How do you do that? Get the data. Get the data. What makes you afraid? I told you must strike the balance between greed and fear. What makes you greedy? Because you expect that the market will give you 200 pips in a day. You expect that, or you over leverage because you just want to be fast with it. If you look at the chart, how many times do you see a daily bar that gives you 200-300 pips? How many times? Maybe in 2 weeks is only once. But that is what you are hoping for. Immediately you get to that 10, you don't want the market to react. You just want it to go straight to 7 and give you 1:3. You don't want, you don't even want, say, go to 10, go to 10.5, go to 9, come back again. You don't want that. If the market starts doing that, you are all over the place. All you want is, as you enter at 10, go to TP. Straight. If he doesn't behave like that, ego setting, problem, psychology, oh, money, oh, this, oh, that, oh, and all that. And then the ones who now expect, okay, oh, you know that realistically a market range is between here to here, but you're expecting it to go travel all the way. It will not work. It will not work. It will happen, but what is the odds? How many times? 60% of the time, the market is in a range. 20% of the time, it breaks out. And then when you think that, oh, the range is about to break out, it will not break out. It will turn back and enter the range. When you think that the breakout is tired, it will, range. It will continue. All right. So what I'm saying in essence is, the best thing you can do for yourself is understand that your job is to execute your edge. It is the psychology that you have that will enable you to execute your edge. But what is the use talking about psychology for someone who doesn't know their edge? That is what I'm trying to explain. There's no use telling somebody to have psychology if he doesn't know his edge. So you must first establish your edge. Sit down for 100 hours and backtest. You won't die. People work 9 to 5 every day, 8 hours every day, to put food on the table, to only make ends meet, to eat. Backtest for 5 hours a day. In less than 1 month, you've done 100 hours. 100 hours of backtesting will give you enough evidence to show you that your 1:3 will hold, or your 1:2 will hold, or your 1:5 will hold. Whatever it is you're doing now. I'm not even saying this one is better or whatever. I'm just telling you, get your evidence. Then when you get that evidence, you will struggle less with psychology. Less. So let's not put the cart before the horse. Then from that point, observe your behavior. Take biro. If you don't want to go all, notion, how we are, fancy with all these things. I like it because most times I'm typing on my phone. I have my phone with me, so it's easy for me to type. You can write with paper. Just look for any rough paper or look for blank white paper. Keep it on top of your table as you are trading. Your behavior from that 10 where you sold, your behavior, start writing it. You were supposed to simply enter this trade at 10 and take your profit at 7. What did you do? Because you can look, and at the end of the day, maybe we'll now come back the next space we'll have. I'll now say, okay, the market eventually got to 7. Did you get your 1:3? No. Why? That is what you should take note of. That is your behavior. That is the psychology we are talking about. All right. Let me end it there. Except we're now going into each of these topics one by one. Okay, see, what's fear, was greed, was overconfidence, what is lack of confidence, under trading, over trading, all these things, impulsivity, fear, what's it called, revenge trading. All those things are different topics that we look at when we're talking about psychology, so that you now look at yourself from that thing you are writing in your journal and say, okay, I have impulsivity. If I see red candle, I can just sell. That's impulsivity. Then you now say, okay, how do I manage it? How do I treat it? How do I correct it? This is all under psychology. That's why you also need psychology edge. Okay, so you still need to study it, but first get your edge. That's what I'm saying. So I'll use the mic here. Thank you so much, Cookie, for giving me your microphone. Also, a big shout out to all the wonderful speakers in the house, and to all my wonderful listeners as well. Big shout out to you. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Shida Benny, for all that you have said. We are so grateful for the knowledge you have brought this evening. So this brings us to the end of this space. I would like to once again appreciate every single one person that made it to this space from the beginning to the end. Mr. Toff, we had an agreement you were going to do something, you were busy. So I understand if you are not on this space anymore. And I'm so grateful you were able to adhere to our invite to be on this space. Mr. Olu of Trades, thank you so much for not disappointing us and be able to make it to this space today. From the beginning to the very end of it. Pencila, FX Bufa, Betty, so glad you made it to this space. Regardless, I'm so grateful you made it to this space. Ishika, eForex, Lord Smith, thank you to every single person that made it to this space. You guys, you see, kindly follow every single speaker and then follow I and then my fellow co-host, Boss Lady, and then Angel. And the lady sitting pretty on here, Fiona. Give her a follow. Well deserved follow, please. Ishika, so glad you made it to this space from the very beginning to the end. Betty, glad you came here. I think I saw Kevin Talent also on here. Glad he was here. And then Pensula, everyone. I will see you same time next week, Monday, 7 p.m., 2 hours. Thank you, Gina Benny, for this wonderful knowledge you shared with us once again. Good evening to everyone. Angel, Angel.
Okay. Um. All right. Before we conclude, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us here today. Special thanks to Mr. Toff, and thank you, Olu of Trades, for coming and honoring our invitation. Thank you, Trader Benny, for what you taught us this evening. Fiona, thanks for coming. I really appreciate. Many of you guys here accepted my invitation to attend this space. Special thank you to all of you. eForex, FS Bufa, Icheka, thank you for coming. Geographer, Cover World, thanks so much, everybody, for coming. Thanks to the listeners. And I hope that we all learned something today. And this is a topic that you still need to go and read and make small research on it. We cannot teach you everything on space, and there's no way you learn everything about the psychology of trading here. But at least the little that you heard here today, I hope it can help you to become a good and better trader. And it's really inspiring to see everybody come together, coming to this space. Like I did not really expect everybody, I did not expect this space to be like this. And I'm really happy to see you all here. So once again, I want to thank our esteemed guest speakers for sharing their knowledge. And I want to thank my fellow co-hosts, Cookie and Boss Lady. I hope everything will keep going well from now. As we wrap up this session, I want you guys to remember that this community thrives because of you. Your presence, your questions, your contributions are the things that will drive the success of Trial Traders Talk. And I hope we can keep staying connected and we can keep learning, and let's continue this journey of growth together. I really look forward to seeing you all in our future sessions and Twitter space. Thank you, guys. Cooking.
Okay, so thank you, Olu of Trades, once again. And then Fiona, thank
Yes.
you all. And then I think this will be the goodbye for now until next week.